Well, somebody here? Hello? Whoever's here. Hello? I better turn down the music just a tad. I just thought I'd get on here, let you people know I'm still around. They're not remodeling the house, so no bang bang stuff going on right now, so that's good. They are just finishing up with the outside of the house. Probably this week or this next week. Then they'll be working inside, which is going to be fun. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the latest Mandela effects that I've noticed. I've had a lot of discomfort in the back of my neck, bottom of my skull, my shoulders. Hey, it's Baldy. How are you? Hi, Scott. Good to see you. I've been enjoying your webcams. Well, you do have a lot of contrails, chemtrails, whatever you want to call them there. Is that more than usual, or is it seasonal? Do they do it all the time? Or do they just once in a while do it? Well, about the coronavirus. These are my thoughts on that. Because unlike 1918, which had the H1N1 flu that went all over the world and killed so many people, we do have medications, even over-the-counter ones, that can help prevent your virus from attacking your lungs and causing a problem there. So usually some kind of expectorant. Yeah. My mother was she was like a year old when that happened. She survived it. They lived in the country up in Northwest, and I think the people that got hit most were in high density cities where they just didn't have access to things, and they didn't have a way to isolate themselves. They didn't have anywhere to go. But that one, was the H1N1, which we've heard, we've gotten flu shots for that. And it's like, well, that's not going to happen this time because we do have medications that will prevent it from settling in the lungs, like some kind of expectorant. And we do have medication to bring down fevers. And we have a lot of things that they didn't have back then. Now, I think people are reacting very strangely to this. They're acting very odd. Hoarding toilet paper, I don't understand. I mean, if you're thinking only of yourself, and you want it all, you don't want to make sure that you and yours have everything, and everybody else can just go jump in the lake. That's just morally and ethically wrong. I'm sorry. It proves that you're a selfish bastard, basically, to have that much, to go to those lengths, so that someone who needs toilet paper can't get toilet paper. too bad I got it all. I have enough for me and mine. I was just going, I have, package and a quarter of big thing I get at Costco. I don't need any for a while. I'm not going to rush there and go get some. And the funny thing is the people hoarding most of the toilet paper are probably low risk people. They're, well off enough to afford it. They, I don't understand what their fear is. I think that they've just gotten a little nuts about it. And already they say in China, the incidence of the virus has gone down. Oh, my eye. Weird stuff in my eye. Don't touch your face. Well, you can touch your face if you washed your hands. Come on, don't be stupid. I wash my hands so much they're covered with eczema. And look at that little finger flying out. I'm not doing that on purpose. Remember, I did that video on the little on my hands. Like, what the frick? This is kind of I think this is a viral pneumonia that they're talking about more than anything. This flu, or whatever you want to call it, it's a viral pneumonia. And the usual populations that are sensitive to pneumonia are the ones being affected. The very young, the ones with immune issues or other conditions. Older people. I went through a care facility in the Northwest where they have people that are compromised health. And they never said, though, who brought the virus there. I don't know if they're worried that, there'll be some repercussions from that. I mean, people need to be, have a little self-control, for one thing. And, realize that some people brought it back when they didn't realize there was a problem. And I'm glad I don't work in the medical facilities right now because I was going to. I have my occupational therapy assistant degree, and then when I was done with my field work, I had to kind of recover because the field work was just brutal. A lot of it is. Not all of it, but some of it was pretty brutal. And then I got off the tramadol, which was actually giving me the energy and the pain relief because I have fibromyalgia. So I got off that, and I hurt so much and was so tired I couldn't really take the test and work. Okay. Sometimes, I'm going to get a little philosophical here. Sometimes when life does something that keeps you from doing what you thought you wanted to do, there's a message in that. There's a reason. There's a reason why you're not going to be doing what you wanted to do, because what you wanted to do wasn't what you're supposed to be doing. I know. I believe that we have a purpose. I know some people don't. And sometimes that purpose is not what the world says to us is our purpose. I think it's very rarely what the world says we're going to do. And so here you have this going on with H1N1 and stuff, and people have to stay home and they have to be with their families. They're kind of quarantine kind of thing going on. And I said, this is not a good thing, of course, but I think this is going to be a huge educational moment for people who avoid interacting with their siblings, their parents, whomever, because maybe people will get to know each other a little bit, because we are a culture, especially in the United States, where we distract ourselves heavily with many things, from celebrities, movies, the latest pandemic, which is what we're going through now. And how you react and how you manage all that is a real big indicator of how stable and happy you are in your own skin and in your own life. And I think a lot of people are going to be reevaluating their life. Well, yeah, I'm an introvert too, Scott. And I'm kind of a social introvert. I'm very picky about when I go out and who I go out with and why. And I'm very picky about who I social. I go to my Reiki group, which are just high spiritual people. They're high vibration. I know, don't want to get all woo woo on you, but I believe people carry a certain vibration. That's a reflection of their character. And I think during these times of crisis, I put that in quotes because I'm not sure. With the way the media is and everything, I'm not entirely sure what's really going on. And I believe there is a virus and it's bad and it does kill people, but the flu kills people every year, kills quite a few. And pneumonia also, which is a different thing, kills a lot of people. And it's like, I wish, they need to let people know, this is a little worse. It's a little worse, but it's not like 100% fatal. And do I think they need to get medications that will help it? Sure. As long as there's not another agenda. Now I read Facebook and oh my goodness, they all think it's a thing to get control of everybody, the New World Order thing, and inject us with whatever for mind control. And it's like, oh my goodness, I can't go there. I just can't go there completely. I have to think, I'm just thinking, they already have a silver barrel. They already have the 99% under their thumb. And I refuse to believe that we don't have any power anymore. I just refuse to believe it. But I'm not going to go accusing people of this, that, and the other with having some horrible agenda to kill millions of people for the New World Order, whatever. These rich people need all of us to do their work for them. I mean, they'd be like cutting their own throat if they got rid of us because we're their little drones. We're the little workers that go out and work for pennies while they just rake in the millions. And it's like, why would they want to get rid of us? I mean, seriously, why would they? Those Freemasons. Yeah, those speaking of Freemasons, I was looking. I was looking at. I was looking at Italy, and I have two. I have two monitors now. How about that? Let's see here. And Ghosty, yeah. Now Italy, I'm just looking at it. Looks like a boot again. But now Malta, it's touching the toe. It's like, I'm sorry, that just looks weird. That just looks weird. Thanks. Well, the lighting, depending on the lighting, my hair is actually strawberry blonde, and sometimes in the lighting it'll look a lot darker. This is kind of the color it is. So then it's turn gray, and it's like, or white or whatever you want to call it. And it's like, I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'm looking at Italy, and it's like Italy looks bigger. What is that? Sardinia. Okay, Sardinia is in the country. Sicily. Okay, Sicily. That's Sicily. It's kicking. Why does it say Malta? Well, Malta's a little island. Okay. Malta's underneath Sicily, so it's kicking Sicily, and Malta's. Was Malta right there? Was Malta right underneath Sicily? I don't. I thought Malta was a little further out in the water. Yeah, it's almost like platform shoe. Well, yeah, they look like a boot that would hurt if you wore it, you know. But Malta, it just seems like it's so close to Sicily. Yeah, I think it was closer to Tunisia than it's like really close to Sicily. Now does it have is there any kind of scale on this? That's annoying. They don't put any. So Sicily, wow, is there a scale on this thing? How about a scale, people? Anywhere, anything. Germany looks odd. I never thought Germany was actually connected to Denmark physically. But I could be wrong, but it's like I thought there was some water between them. I'm not sure. It just doesn't look right. I'm gonna have to study that more and keep an eye on it. Yeah, so basically Malta has shifted really close to Sicily. Now, what's that going to do about the history of people that use the boat to get to Malta and then get to another boat to Italy? I mean, that's going to be weird. I mean, we're not all from the same place. These boots are made for walking. We're not all from the same place. And so our experiences are going to be pretty strange, you know. Yeah, that's what I mean. It just doesn't look right because Germany goes up out of in a little pointy thing, and then there's the border, and then there's Denmark. I thought Denmark was, you know, I know Germany didn't go up like that. Germany had no coast. It's like, this is all disturbing, you know, really. So let me look here. I wanted to talk a little bit about I know that MA's talked about the Egyptian artifacts that used to be pure gold that are now plated. There was a piece of there was a piece of jewelry piece that was one of those little arm things that go here, and it had greenish edges to the gold. Now that says to me that's copper. And so it looks to me like they electroplated it, like Emmy was talking. They electroplated the gold, maybe not all of the pieces, but a lot of the pieces that are supposed to be solid gold. It used to be solid gold, Egyptian jewelry. Now, Germany seems to have a lion's share of artifacts from Egypt and other places. I mean, I don't know what they did. They must have gone around like the British and just pillaged all these places in the name of archaeology and preserving the past. Har har. And America's done the same. I mean, all these major countries thinking these places that these people wouldn't appreciate their own stuff, appropriated it. Now, I'm not saying that was wrong for the time. Maybe it was a good idea at the time because of the problem with black market and things like this, that they could actually, say where they got them and keep the historical record of their place in history. So I don't know. I'm not going to judge in that sense because I don't know for sure what would have been better. Um, However, I do believe that if the country asked for their stuff back, I'd say the SHIT back, that they should get it. I'm just saying. If they want a particular piece, I know that Egypt's been going round and round with the UK about a few things they want back, and the UK says nope, nope, nope. And I think that's very petty. And it's not like they're going to be losing a lot of money if they give it back. It's just like a power struggle thing, and I think that's just wrong. Just wrong. If it belongs to them, it belongs to them. I feel that way about most artifacts from any particular culture that's still around. That if that group of people wants their stuff back, they should get their stuff back. I may be old-fashioned that way. But as for the virus, again, China says it's going, the incidence of infections going down. Now, when I just studied bacteriology and stuff in college, that, yeah, a lot of, you're right, Scott, a lot of that was like politically motivated gifting. Like, I'll give you this if you send me weapons, kind of thing. But I'd like to think these cultural heritage things belong to the people of that country. Now, what's happening in the Middle East with the extremists destroying artifacts and museums, which is just horrific. In those instances, it would have been a good idea to go and take everything out of there. But, there's just nothing we can do about some things. But so far as a virus or bacterial infection in a population, it usually follows a bell curve. And this is a curve that starts out small, goes up, and then declines. And this is the usual way these things work, at least in the biology I learned. And I'm looking, if China's it's already reached its peak and starting to come down, that's a really good sign. It's a really good sign to think positive and to, use common sense in your behaviors and what you do. And I'm not going to say people aren't dying from this. Yeah, it's possible. Everything we hear from China could be a lie because they have the government control the media, but we do too. Government controls our media too, in a way to make us think they don't. Because everything's owned by 5 people or something like that. So my guess is let's try not to be manipulated by media. Let's not be stupid, but let's not be ridiculous either. Don't buy up all the toilet paper and hand sanitizer. Now, I've already had lots of hand soap. I already have a good amount of toilet paper, because when I get so low, I buy another one, like most people should do. And we have lots of, I have disinfectants of various kinds. I have those Lysol wipes and everything. I've always had them. My mother was a freaking nurse. Germs bad. Clean, clean. Yeah, and I'm thinking Tom Hanks and his wife have contracted it, and they were in Australia, and they got tested. I said, "Here, you're lucky to get tested. They're not going to test you. You're just going to, they're not going to test you unless you get so sick you have to be in the hospital. Then they'll test you. We don't have universal health care here. It's this is a place that we're in the same boat with China, because in a lot of ways they have a huge population, and they couldn't possibly take care of everybody. We have a big population, not quite as dense. Either contracting it early so they can get medical equipment with hospitals are overrun. I really think that most people will probably be able to just be home and recover naturally, that only high-risk people are going to be keeling over dead, hopefully. Hopefully not many of those. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much to believe, how much not to believe. I just know that I wash my hands a heck of a lot, and I always have, and I haven't gotten the flu for several years. I don't get sick. I might get a little runny nose thing my husband brings home. Well, people have been disappearing for a very long time, Ghosty. Speaking of disappearing, I've read lots of these books about people disappearing. Young college men. This is one that's really freaky weird. All over the country and in England, young men leaving some kind of a event in which they were partying with their friends, gonna walk a block to their apartment or to their car, and they disappear. And their bodies are found weeks later near water, and they hadn't been dead that long. And sometimes there's a smiley face, it's called the smiley face murders. And it looks like this kind of MO is spread across the whole country and in England, Great Britain. So they're thinking it's some kind of cult kind of thing. And it's really, really kind of freaky. And it's like, well, why? And they're usually the top of the top. They're like the top students, top athletes. These are prime young men. These are prime young men that are being taken out, unable to marry and have kids or anything like that. And it's like, why? Why would they do that? It's just like the wars that we have take the youngest and the brightest and the healthiest of young men, predominantly young men, out of our population and kill them off. And you wonder why we've devolved to being dumbasses. Well, they took the brightest and the smartest and the best of us and shipped them off to die. Yeah, that's true. A person can be smart and people can be stupid. I have a son who lives in Irvine. Now, Irvine is populated by a huge number of Koreans, and these Koreans travel a lot. Now, he says he's going to be wearing his mask and gloves when he goes out. But he's working from home. He's IT, has his IT company, and he has contracts, and he can do most of his work from home. He's worried because they travel so much. Now, he's in an area that could be a higher risk. Me, not so much. I go shopping. I don't worry about it. I wash my hands. I have sanitizer in my car that holds me until I get home and can wash them thoroughly. I never use hand sanitizer as the end process. It is merely to hold me to hinder growth of bacteria till I get home. And so, this is just, my mother was a nurse, and this is what I've done all my life. I've been putting sanitizer in my car every time I shop, because people hold on the car, so I sanitize my hands. Sanitize my steering wheel every time I get in the car and go somewhere and come back. Done this for years. I'm not paranoid. I just know germs are germs. And when you know people that there's E. coli from feces on keypads and stuff, people aren't washing their hands. I said, if anything good comes from this, people might start washing their effing hands. Yeah, you don't touch your face, if you're out and about. Yeah. But I mean, my hands, you can't tell, but they're better now, but they were just red the other day. And I put some lotion on, it seemed to help, I'm in the extra bedroom because my bedroom is all torn up and they're not quite done with things in there. They're done the windows, but I need to go through things, and it's like years and years of neglect because I was going to school. I didn't do anything but school. My environment isn't so horribly clean that we're not healthy. I know that there are theories that multiple sclerosis is caused by an immune system that didn't get challenged enough when you were young because your house was too clean, which I don't know. I think there's a huge hereditary component to that personally, but I'm not an expert. That's just my idea. Yearly bath. I did get some Dettol from the UK before all this hit the fan. And I put a diluted amount in a little thing of water, and I use that to bathe certain parts of myself, which are the dirtiest parts. And then I use soap as well. So I'm clean. But I started doing that before this. Hey, just me. I just started doing that about a few weeks ago. It's like my two boys are one's on disability, the other one is having his issues, so they're home all the time. Only one leaving our house is our husband, and he picks up everything. So, and I tell you, just to train him not to wander around and try to give it to everybody. Well, you dilute it. It says you can wash it. You dilute it enough, it's not going to hurt you. I don't take a bath. If I took a bath, it'd be easier to clean that part of you. But when you're not taking a bath and you take a shower. Hey, Bela. How are you, sweetie? Yeah, we're talking about this, that, and the other. Anyway, so this bleach. Oh my God. No. Wow, that would keep me awake all night if I used bleach. I like the fact that the Dettol doesn't use the same antibacterial stuff the American stuff does. Because my borax, I really like taking Epsom salt baths. That's supposed to release negativity. It's a good way to absorb magnesium and get the aches and pains. Anyway, so I don't know how all this is going to play out, but if nothing else, people are learning to wash their hands. It's like, come on, people. What it was, the McDonald's keyboard was they were all tested and found E. coli on it. The touch pads. It's like, how? We had when I was one of my classes in occupational therapy class, we had to wash our hands, and they had a black light thing that would show if you missed anything on your hands. It would show up as white stuff on your hands if you didn't get it all. Because what you do is you put the stuff on your hands, let it dry, and then you have to wash it off with soap. My hands were completely clean because I know how to wash my effing hands. You know, this and this and this, and, you know, on top and on bottom, and you have a nail scrubber if you need one. You know, when I'm done washing my hands, they're effing clean. Well, there's certain bacterias that are beneficial, of course. I don't think anybody can eliminate all the bacteria on their skin. Some of it's good for you. Internally, there's certain bacteria that's very good inside, but very bad outside. Some of the intestinal bacteria are necessary for the digestion and processing of what you eat, but you can't have them outside. E. coli is an interesting thing. It's natural and should be in your intestines. But the E. coli that we see that makes people sick is not the same E. coli. Now I remember the E. coli in the lettuce stuff, all caused because there was like a pig farm nearby and that the runoff. I said, how stupid can people get about how we grow our food? Now, what I do is when I get some lettuce I get romaine lettuce. When I cut it down, I plant the bottom part, so I have lettuce coming up. I do that with green onions, so I have green onions all through my yard and everything. You can also sing "Staying Alive," I think, part of the chorus or something of "Staying Alive" when you wash your hands, or you can sing "Happy Birthday." You know. Like I said, you just don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid, you know. And that's a lot to ask from people. Yeah, we have little critters that live on our eyelashes. Not that I have much in that department. I don't have much in the way of eyelashes. Oh, that's for heart attack. 30 beats, you know. Da, da, da. You know, with our anatomical changes through the shifting, and I learned to do CPR. I'm thinking, I learned to use those the defibrillators. I swear to God, if I'd have to read it before I did it, because if I do it the way I was taught, I'd probably kill someone. It's like, how awful would that be? It would be terrible. It's like, and I'm sort of glad I don't work in the medical field, because that's got to be complicated to anybody who's shifting. How on earth do you manage that? Anyway, so I did a thing on the hands, and I know, you know, the hands are definitely interesting. I mean, if I just hold my hand and just tighten my hand up, normally my little finger's starting to go woo, and it's starting to go lower. And of course the thumb is kind of weird, but I notice with my hand, the wrist is angling the hand out that way, and it never used to do that. So my hand's like, you know, sideways. Um, 5G, 5G. I know that they say in UK 5G, people in the UK protested and they didn't put it up or something. I don't know. I don't think 5G is a good idea because, like they say, they really haven't tested it on people or animals or anything. That's my understanding. It was in Ireland. Okay. So Irish aren't so stupid, huh? I have so much in me. So I mean, we live in a world that we never know that if there's a shift, and it'll all change, and the virus will just be starting to fade out, and I don't know. I think I think if we've died and shifted on to a new timeline, or if there was some catastrophic thing that happened, we'd probably shift out of it, you know. Um, I don't know. I just know that, you know, over here in the United States, you know, you see these middle-aged white guys stocking up on stuff. You know, I said they probably got a bunch of guns in their house too. You know, have a basement armory and God knows what else. Uh, I think that if you live from a place of fear, that's what you're going to get. You're going to have a fearful life, and I'm not. I don't think I can do that. Yeah, Ghosty, and it's like I just read an account. Of course, you know, it's hard to know if it's true. Someone ended up getting buried because they thought she was dead, and then she wakes up, and you know they dig her up as soon as they start hearing, but they didn't hear her screaming. They didn't get her out. Um, I'm in California. Uh, I know they're rolling out 5G in some places, but I don't know where. Nevada, have you noticed? I don't know how long you've been there, but Nevada is way bigger than it used to be. It's a bigger, either that or California's gotten smaller. I mean, the relationship between the two just doesn't look the same. Of course, you know, all the states seem to be, United States seems to be kind of smaller in some ways. Canada has shrunk too. That we're on a smaller sphere plate. I don't know. I don't care. Whatever we are, it seems like the thing we're on is smaller. That's why everything's closer. You know, and the South America shifted east, and so the idea that African people or other people from Africa or people coming down to Africa to use Africa as a point of departure to go to South America. So I think that they've discovered that there's Polynesian blood in the South Americans, and there's other kinds of blood in South Americans, um, and we know that the Norwegians went to the new land as well, to Vineland, because it was so green compared to Iceland. It was like, wow, this is heaven in Nova Scotia. Uh, World population is like 2 billion less than I remember. Yeah, Ghosty. And also, I do believe California isn't as big as it used to be in some ways. I'm not sure. But I know that Canada looks very strange. And of course, Greenland is like ridiculous. I mean, Greenland is as big now. Let's see what Greenland. Come on, maps. Thank you. Okay. Greenland is now almost as big as Africa. It's bigger than South America. And it's almost bigger than the United States and Canada combined in the main part, excluding Alaska. And all those islands between Greenland and the Arctic Ocean, they actually have a thing called Northwest Passages. Now, in my history, there was no Northwest Passage actually found. Now they have one called Northwest Passage, because there's waterways go clear across now. Yeah, and the photos from 1800s are looking better and better, and we're having video now of the turn of the century movies, and it's like, even if they've somehow enhanced them with modern software, it still just boggles my mind. So, we're going to see history photographed that never was. I know that World War I, there's a lot more pictures than there used to be. And wouldn't be surprised earlier wars also. I know that the Civil War, United States Civil War, that the number of photographs of things is just staggering. The number of photographs of Lincoln, President Lincoln, is astounding. Of his family, even. Now, yeah, Greenland's gone shifting up too. It used to be closer to Iceland. Now there's an island off it that has 24 hours of sun, just like Alaska. Well, Alaska has, where it's all night for a period of time, or all day for a period of time, 2 times a year, of course. I'm not sure exactly where it's the worst. There's a high incidence, the last I heard, there's high incidence of depression and suicide due to lack of light in the dark times. I have a light bank for if I have a lack of light in the winter time that I use. So yeah, Greenland is like, there's a Greenland Sea, there's the Barents Sea, the Kara Sea. What the heck is this? That's part of Russia. Svalbard is a group of islands. That's part of Russia. Scott, do you know the name of the island that was between you and the Netherlands in the channel there? I don't think it's there now. I know that it comes and goes. Don't see it. Russia's ridiculously huge now. China, Mongolia. New Zealand looks like it's slid further south and east. It's really getting some distance from Australia. I think Madagascar also has gone a little north compared to where it was before. No, remember, Scott, remember MA talked about a little island that was between you and the Netherlands, and it was in the channel there, that it comes and goes. It's now the Shetlands are north of Scotland. I know that. The Faroe Islands, yeah. Now this was a little island he mentioned that comes and goes, and so I haven't seen it. I'm keep an eye out for it, see if it's there or not sometime. Islands are something that it's between you and Europe. Let me look. It's not sure. I know that Wales looks different than it did, and Cornwall. The whole coast is looks different. I mean, the things are in basically the same place, they just look different. Guernsey, Jersey. Yeah, that's off of France, an English channel. What's that? Guernsey, okay. Hewtown, off of Penzance, off of Cornwall, as to the south and west is called Hewtown. Those are the Eastern Isles. St. Martin's, Isles of Scilly, St. Agnes. Interesting. Have to go in close and look around because they don't show up. Wow. Why would the Celtic Sea be where it is? South of Ireland makes sense, but it's even south of Cornwall. Bay of Biscay. Temporary second moon. Asteroid. How many times have we had some asteroid come by and they say we just missed us by this much, you know? Maybe it doesn't miss us and we keep shifting us, you know. Faroe Islands. Faroe Islands. Okay, that's where those are. All right. Well, I thought he said that there was something in maybe the North Sea. I know the moon looks pretty strange because the moon used to have, you know, it looks like the moon has shifted as you're looking at it to the left, so that there's the darker parts are more to the left, and then the white parts to the right. You know, the huge part of the moon is like light colored now, and it never used to look like that. Now, so you know, with this global warming or global climate change or whatever they want to call it, has there been any measurable rising of the sea levels? I mean, have they really had anything? I know that they monitor it. Sea level rise map. Let's see what it says. Because theoretically, you could have an island disappear between shifts if the level of the ocean had risen in that timeline. So I was thinking that's a possibility. No, I don't want to see what they project or imagine. I want to see the real thing. They just, projected sea level rise by 2050. I mean, I want to know what you've seen so far, not how much has the sea level risen in the last 100 years. 10 to 20 centimeters. Okay. That's not very much. Certainly not enough to bury an island in water. Yeah, it's like, well, there's a certain amount. I mean, I'm all for reducing pollution, getting rid of cars that use petroleum, because that's pollutant. It's bad for us to breathe it. It's bad for our water, bad for wildlife. There's no upside except people make money on it. The richest make money on it, I should say. The rest of us, like, up for yours. So, I mean, there's no plus side to using, fossil fuel. And it's stupid of us not to start really thinking about finding ways to get what we need without destroying the world we live on. Magnetic North Pole change. I've heard that. I've heard that it's shifting. It shifts all the time. But we had a rather large one. Yeah, yes, that's Scott. I mean, it's like I said, it's very hard to know truth because information can be manipulated. So it's hard for us to know the truth. I don't mean, to get ridiculous and go around saying that you think this and that person's a pedophile without any evidence, things like that. That's not cool. Um, just try to be discerning, try not to freak out. Now I'm reading a book um, called Letting Go. And it's by, let's see, let me think what it's by. It's a good book. He's written a couple of books. He's written several books. And there's one that's called, let's see. This is the Letting Go, the Pathway of Surrender by David R. Hawkins. And he's also written a lot of books. And he tries to teach you to let go of things, because when you're addicted to your emotions and to how you react to things, and if you have a lot of fear that you've buried in you and haven't let go, you're gonna respond to the world in a fearful way. If you have a lot of anger you haven't processed and let go, you react to everything with anger. So I think we're seeing a lot of people that have a lot of shadow work to do on themselves about their fear and anger, because you'll see this people hoarding things. They're so fearful. They're so full of fear, and this crisis they're having us go through is triggering that fear. And this fear is about something that happened maybe when they were kids, but it's triggering them. Yeah, Ghosty, our Arctic, is gone, and I don't know about you, but I think that Antarctica is so huge compared to what I remember. It's absolutely ginormous. It's like a lower quarter of the globe. I'm not either gonna. Yeah, and then like people that need it are not gonna be able to find it. I said, what kind of person does that? Well, we've seen this kind of hoarding thing before. Um, I used to be Mormon, and they would have like supposed to have a year's supply, and they'd have all these buckets and buckets of hard red wheat. You could live on that, yeah. Not that you'd want to. Um, and it's like fostering paranoia. Now, are you going to be able to stay in your home if the world gets that bad? Are you going to be able to grab all your year supply and take it with you? Now, I believe in a bug out bag is a good idea, which will keep you. There's certain kinds that'll keep you and your family okay for like 5 days or a week that you can grab and go. Because generally speaking, you're not going to get to stay in your home if there's some kind of big thing happen. That usually evacuation is going to be required. So, um, yeah, I think a bug out bag's not a bad idea. But trying to, you know, be ready for the apocalypse by, hankering down in your home is not very practical, Jim. And most of us don't have a compound in a remote area where we can defend with our various weapons from the government that has tanks and stuff. It's like, really? Really, you're gonna think you can beat them? Mm. You don't. I don't know. Maybe the people that are full of shit, but then they may not go to heaven, right? Yeah, yeah. So I just think people just need to chill out and start being, mature. Is that too much to ask? I guess so. Anyway, so I do want to do to wind this up. I do want to do a commentary on the book that I narrated because there's a lot of MEs in it. But then at the moment, I'm not sure where the book is. As you can see, I have books piled up behind me. I got, my life's a little bit crazy right now. So I'd like to do some more ME videos and stuff, but it's like my life is a little hard for me to do research in my books. So I don't like to just do research online. I like to have books too. So I may be able to do something relatively soon. I don't know. Um, just wash your hands, people. Just wash your hands. And I hope you feel better, Scott. Hope you don't. I think generally speaking, if you just really take good care of yourself, I think the biggest problem is that they've closed the schools and they've closed this and they've canceled that and it's hurting the economy. And I think that's the biggest loss other than health lives of people. It's the second biggest loss is the economic loss. Yeah, Scott's got some kind of a little bug. Send him send him warm fuzzies. Maybe he'll put them on his head. Oh, that makes sense. Maybe I might wear those big things with a big nose, like they did during plague times. They're the ones that should be easy to protect themselves with their, protocols or their clean protocols. I know that when I worked, I did my field work, and we had to go into a clean room where we had to be masked up and dressed up, and we had to wear the whole gown and everything. I imagine that's what they do if they find someone with this coronavirus thing. Well, Scott, the thing I recommend is that you keep your lungs clear because it is like a type of pneumonia, and you know keep drinking hot tea, and if you start developing a cough, try to pick up something, an expectorant or something, to keep it from settling in your chest. You might have to um, tell your mother not to get close to you, you know, because she's more vulnerable than you are, health-wise, in that department. You're a tough old bastard, aren't you? You'll be fine. Well, I know that certain people are saying, well, show me one person that knows someone who's died. I said, well, we've only had a handful of deaths in this country, and finding someone who knows somebody who's passed from it here would be a little odd, hard. Oh my goodness. Eating fruit. Your mother's, she's an angel, Scott. I don't know how she gave birth to you. I really don't. um yeah, keep yourself regular, you know, eat something with some fiber in it. I know vegetables is a dirty word probably to you as well. If there's any sweets that have added fiber, you know, maybe that's what you should find. Oh my goodness. Yeah, things go through these. I don't know how much is I think the panic is manufactured for media advantage. I think they make things look worse than they are. This is what they do to get people to watch. They have buzzwords they use. Um, so, you know, look at things with healthy skepticism. Don't let yourself panic. Keep calm. Carry on. You take care, Ghosty. I'm heading out in a minute too. I want you to know how much I appreciate you, and missed our chats. I hope to do this more often. I hope to have a topic to cover that will be maybe a screen share thing that I can share what I'm talking about a little better. I tried that OBS once and it failed miserably. Hopefully, maybe I can do it, try it again and do it right. You know, it's like I'm just having a brain fart. That happens, you know. I'm 64, you know, throw me a bone, you know, be kind. You all take care, and thanks for coming by, and keep thinking those good thoughts. Keep asking questions. Don't give up. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye, everybody. uh, yeah, well, I haven't checked to see if I asked needs bleaching or not. Take care and try to stay out of trouble. Just Balo and Scott, just try. Just surprise me.